All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the circle. So, yeah, another weekend. I had the in-laws over, and so once again, wasn't able to do a lot with the channel, but once again, oh well, we just keep going, and that's just life, I guess. So, what's a good way to play? I mean, I guess we can come over here. I guess let's go for something that we can invade. I think like recently I've had more success doing invasions or doing more aggressive things. That's good, but I need to not get carried away with it. I need to also remember to focus on my own weaknesses before I start trying to exploit my opponents. There's a certain order to that. Here, this is not great, I think, because this stone, like it lets me get the Atari and then potentially capture. Whereas here, this doesn't put a lot of pressure on the corner, so there's not a lot of need for me to respond. So I'll just play over here. But yeah, at least we can play a slow game and just chill out a little bit. Work continues to be very, very hectic, and so yeah, it's nice to be able to just play some Go and just take a load off. Yeah, I didn't think they would respond because if they didn't respond before, then they might as well not play now. So I think that makes sense. So I don't think I should like insist in capture. So we can just here we have the Sanrensei. Normally, the way how I reduce Sanrensei is by playing on top here, because if you make this territory up to this line, that's just even. So that's basically how I end up doing things against it. I can go for this enclosure over here. I can like try and jump in. I guess the thing is I want to break this up before it becomes a big moyo, but on the other hand, if it's really big, then it's easier to invade. So I think like the point is that we shouldn't rush, but on the other hand, I don't want to take it too easy either. We have to make sure that we keep up pressure. So let's just go after that. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, it's nice to take a load off with some Go. Even if I mean I'm playing on KGS, so hopefully I can play a competitive game. As I mentioned in the previous game on OGS, I'm keeping it so that I can play against strong players by keeping it at 1Q and playing unranked games. I have a bunch of games I play that I've like lost in a row and that I need to review. My hope is that if I keep doing that and if I keep playing on KGS, then I should be able to see the progress happening on KGS instead, as opposed. I mean, on OGS, I'll eventually turn it around, but yeah, so that's the approach. So yeah, well, we'll play on KGS here just so because then we get something that's a little bit more interesting to watch. So not that you know how it is. Like even the other games I'm playing with OGS are also plenty interesting, I'm sure, but at least here, yeah, it's not quite as one sided, I guess. So here we can go for the corner. The thing is with this move is that it doesn't provoke a response, so I don't have to respond. And if I go into the corner here, then they might block in this direction, and then this stone is a little bit off, not in the perfect place. But at the same time, it's not horrific either. So I guess we can just go into the corner because that's what we would have done anyway. So we might as well just go ahead and do that. And then of course they'll block at R4. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we'll see what they wanted to get with this O5 move. Because like, why would you want it here instead of anywhere else? So I mean that's why it's unusual. But yeah, I guess this is the kind of like player who really enjoys playing Moyo, so that's the idea. They're just going to give up a bunch of territory, and they're going to just build something on the outside. That's their plan. So I'd like to get this move here because it really weakens the shape over here. I might even be able to cut or something, but we won't go for it right away. But we definitely want this move. And then I guess we can come underneath this way. We can play this Atari, but then, or not this Atari, but we can play this Hane, but we'll get laddered, I think. And does the ladder even work? Actually, the ladder might not work. The ladder doesn't work. Okay, that's interesting. And then if we play over here, then I can capture it right away. And if they don't, then I can split. So that's pretty nice, actually. So what happens is they'll Atari connect, and then the ladder doesn't work. So I can't get that right, or can I? Um, Actually, I might be able to. Mm, but do I need it? I think this is one of those things where you might jump at the weakness right away, but it might be best to leave it and then keep it and have it later. But see if I play this way, then they might Atari and extend, and then what do I do with the stone? So it's not quite clear. I'm gonna go on the other side here. I know this isn't like the maximal pressure way to play, but my hypothesis is that playing the maximal pressure way is not the best way to handle this kind of player. But if we have this, then we can play this invasion later, which is great. So they should respond, and then I can push a couple times underneath, and then we'll play on this side. Or maybe instead, maybe it might be worth just invading right away. But I think it's best to play on the outside, like play all the areas first before invading. I guess that's what's most correct, technically. The nice part as well about playing on KGS is that I get to have music in the background, and you all can't hear it because I've muted it. So that's the fun part for me. I'm listening to some Christmas jazzy kind of music. There's a channel that I have enjoying listening to, uh, but it seems that their content is AI generated. I didn't realize it the first time, but if you'll read the comments, then you'll find that it's AI generated. I don't mind as long as it's, pleasant to listen to, I guess. But a lot of people are very disappointed by that. But, this is just the world that we live in now. So I think the main thing is that there was some repeat tracks, and I was like, okay, well, if you can generate good sounding music, then you might as well just, generate new ones instead of just rehashing it. But it's okay, they didn't rehash everything, so so I could let that slide. So okay, we get this Atari because, of course, and do we even need to protect the cuts? Because if they play this one, then I can Atari, and then over here, and then here. So technically I don't need to protect it, but a part of me feels weird just leaving it behind because I guess it's weakness that you want to deal with later. Okay, well, if they're not going to respond to the Atari, then that's fine. And you can tell they're really going for that center. They don't care about anything else. They're like, just give me the center. So if I play over here, so the thing is that if they, um, I guess we can go over here, or I don't want to play, but I might just play this way, but I don't want to do that because it's what I typically do, and I want to do something different. It just feels so cheap. Okay, so let's see. I guess we can play this like light shape, but I'm a bit tired of it. I want to play this way. This is a bit of a new Joseki. I can sometimes get this one wrong, so maybe the game is about to end. But okay, then we can play over here, and then we see how are they going to handle this. They should usually handle it by just pushing me a couple times here. So I make a lot of territory, but they have this really big center here. But they have this weakness, so I might be able to invade them. But let's see. Here, I guess the issue is like knowing when you can see if I can place Hane here. Because if they cut, I can press down and they'll play this move here, this diagonal. And then if I descend, then they'll play this cut. And then I can Atari down a couple times, but I might run out of liberties or something. And if not, this might be running low. So it doesn't look quite right. I think you have to go one more time and then it should be okay, I think. Like, I've had this position in the past, so I kind of know, but if I were them, I would come back now. So they should play this defend this weakness. Otherwise, might be able to use that during an invasion and give that a try. Let's see how audacious they are. This is a cup that I got from when we were, I think it was like fireworks in Plymouth this one time. And yeah, sometimes I'm visiting around that area. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Oh, that's very audacious. Okay, fine. But yeah, sometimes I'm visiting around that area, and so yeah, I picked up this cup, and it's useful because then we don't have beer glasses, but when people are around, then we can, I can give them a plastic cup if we're outside in the garden and things like this. So it's very useful. So I'm thinking about this cut, as you can see. What I'm also thinking about is that we can play this one, because if they play on this side, then if I extend, I mean, there's this cut over here, right? So here, Atari, come up, Then they'll have to fix over here. Then maybe we can cut and then play over here. So it should be just a bit thin, I think. If I play over here. But I guess like this move, I guess doesn't really threaten much. It just says, hey, I'm big. And if I play over here, so Atariing down and then on this side, this way, and Count Hane extends. And if I extend again, then can they Hane? If I play here, then they might extend, and then this one, it is a bit awkward. I do want to like cut here just to see how they respond and see what kind of Agi I have, I suppose, but I don't think that's quite right. So here, Atari down, here, extend, 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 Hane, cut, extend, up, and then here, you know. I should be able to get something. It is just a bit too big, so I have to invade. We know that. There's no choice. So I guess we can play... I don't know. This is the part we have to remember our skills. We have to remember our skills. So I'm gonna not go after this right away. I'm gonna play here and see what happens. It's tense, but this is what we're going to have to do. And remember, we don't play weaknesses unless that weakness reveals like fixing. We don't fix unless fixing reveals weakness for our opponent. So okay, here, and also we want to be moving towards the center. We want to be playing lightly. So I can play it down here and try and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna live. Could actually work actually. It's not clear to me how I should respond to this. I shouldn't extend. I shouldn't do that. One of these Hanes. So I'm going to play over here. I really wanted to play this Hane on the bottom. Technically, I don't think this Hane should be wrong. Technically, either should work, right? It's just a matter of following up. And I just have to remember to be light. And we want to force black to prove that all of this is their territory. And if that is, then we resign and the game is lost. But then it'll have learned about invading. So this is how we're going to do it. And to be fair, like we should also be asking, how does black kill us? Like they need to respond something like that. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we can play lightly or we can attach. And I think attach makes sense. Because we want to provoke them. We have an extra push over here if we want it. So that's good too. So okay, they'll probably Hane on the outside. I can't imagine any other move. And then maybe we can make shape this way. See, because we can play shape here. And if they Atari, then I'll counter Atari or something. So... but I feel really tempted with this move. But I also have to be careful, I think. I think it's okay for now, but we have to be a bit careful. So here... I think it'll be interesting, actually, if I play here. Because if they descend, then I can play this Tiger's Mouth. And if they don't... If I play over here... If I play these two, then this one... Yeah, it's actually a bit tricky. I might have played too deeply here. There's this move. I think it's kind of like analogous to get move that I found when I was reviewing with AI. So we'll see. But I mean, if all this fails, we move back. We treat this lightly, and then we fall back a little bit and see what happens. So I guess they should Hane here again. See, because if they Hane here, then we get this Atari, and maybe we can play over here. And then here, and then actually that might be alive already. But they get the entire center actually, so maybe that's not what we want. Maybe living small like that isn't great. Because I thought like making shape into the center, like I guess that's better, but then you're kind of swimming. You're kind of, but at the same time, how can they kill you, you know? Okay. And if I play over here, then you can imagine Atari and then connect. And over here, you know, that's not enough to live, right? I guess I get this move as well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, it's not enough. So how can I play lightly now? I might have played in the wrong direction to play lightly now, but I guess if I play this cut, let's try it and see what happens. Because yeah, if I just respond that way, then it'll just be too heavy. So maybe responding with S10 wasn't quite right. Okay. Well, we'll get this Atari, which is interesting. And then we can play this move, I guess. Kind of squeezing this. Is that any good? I don't know, but this is what we're trying right now. Would it have been good to get this move first? I don't know. Maybe, but oh well, at least then this stone isn't still an Atari, and so there's still 2, 3, and 3 liberties on these stones. But I like it because I form something on the outside, and a lot of this stuff is territory that black should get anyway. And I think it makes sense because I want to be swimming on the outside, so this is what I'm going to try. Okay, yeah, and we can squeeze it, which is, I think, what we're going for. Squeeze. And then we'll see how they handle that. They probably capture. And then there's still some pushing. There's still some weaknesses over here that we should pay attention to. But it's okay if you're... It's okay to make shape, though, I think. But we won't be out of the forest yet. Yeah. So I'm going to go for the making shape. There is a lot of space in the center, and keeping the weaknesses in mind, this is what is important. So here, we don't have many places where we can run, so we have to really start thinking about how we make shape right away. So let's do that. So now I need to make 2 eyes or connect to something. Where are the weaknesses? So we have these 2 over here, and then we have some stuff over here. That's useful to know. They might go for a peep. I guess that's reasonable. Yeah, so we can play something like here, but just connect, I suppose. Here, I think it's okay to defend because if we lose this group, then we're lost anyway, so we do have to do something. We can also think about pushing on the outside here. It'll give them a lot of thickness, but we did invade their area, so that's inevitable. And so what happens? I don't want to be too lax, you know? And if I jump over here, I think like we have to, because if I'm too lax, then I'm going to die, I think. So I need to keep putting pressure up. Hmm. How am I going to do this? I'm not quite sure. We need to exploit weaknesses. And if they extend over here, then... I mean, I guess I can make an eye this way. And then what's nice about this is that I can start pointing at other weaknesses that are around the area. This is a good way to move, I guess. Let's move this way because there are more weaknesses and I can more clearly make shape. Like, you can imagine if I'm pushing over here now, then this is quite a lot of eye space. That's what I'm thinking. And I guess if we can get this cut here, then maybe we can cut here. Because then this Atari makes an Atari here, and then we can connect back up. But we'll see what their next move is. And maybe if I keep pressing over here, I can make some kind of an eye. So then I live, and then the game continues. It's my hope. We're living on a prayer over here. I think this is the kind of thing that Inseong said that I should try more, and then I never did because I never had the courage. It's difficult to have courage and Go. It's not easy. So I can then get something like here. I don't know. We need like... Okay, we'll play the here. How would I feel if I were them now? I think the thing is that I have to remember with these kinds of moyos, you have to really prove everything to the very end. It's difficult. It's why I don't really play the style. And can I like go for this cut here? Maybe I can. Yeah, if I get this here, and then here, and over here. Yeah, let's try that. And then over here. You know, they might try and play this poke here. And I can get this Atari, but I'd have to connect. But then he can cut. And maybe I can like come over here. It's not clear, I think. I would totally peep now. But if I'm lucky, they're not focusing on that. And what else can be done? I guess there's like over here. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then we want to play over here, but the cut with this is annoying. This might be interesting. This is a ridiculous move. I might lose this game because of this. It's just, could I have played over here and then defended? And then, but the thing is like, how do I make two eyes? I guess we can play over here and hope that this is enough. Eye space? Maybe. But what I'm thinking is that if they block over here, and then I play this one, then they come out and I can get some forcing moves before I need to connect. And then either I connect over here or I can get out. And I think the point is that I want to keep the game going. They need to go the long way around to actually kill me. So we'll go over here. Like, I need to make them work for it. All right, so let's see what they're thinking about. I mean, there's really only one thing to do. I guess the only thing is that if they cut, maybe I can extend, and they'll have to play over here, and then I can Atari, extend, and play here, and then they connect. That's the only thing. And if I extend over here, then they can Atari. But with the Atari, there's a snapback, actually. So actually, I make an I here. Or I can play this one. But I think this is the vital point here. That makes me an I. So that's nice. And now I just have to make another I over here, or like threaten, or like actually connect out. But I don't know. Maybe not possible. But this looks like you could make an I here. You could maybe do that. So let's see. How are they going to do this? I guess they would play here, 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 here. Maybe if I can get an Atari here and maybe he's like, yeah. So here, it's not going to work. What if we play over here? That might be interesting. If I play here, what's going to happen is they might like play here and then they have to play in this one, but I can make an I here. And if they play over here, then it's kind of the same story, actually. Do I live? There's no way I live. That would be pretty great. Because then they only have this territory here, and then they have to do something on the outside, which is possible, but the game hopefully then continues. I think like one thing that I never realized is that you develop your fighting ability. Yeah, I thought like there are different ways to develop your fighting ability. Like you can play handicap games, you can play blitz games, but you can also play Moyo games where you're invading deeply and where that invasion is justified. So I didn't know that. That's a great way to practice because when you're invading, those are you have to play aggressively or else you're going to be too heavy and you'll die. Which I never knew before. So or maybe I could be wrong and we keep playing and I learn. Who knows? Oh, they give up. They admit. That's great. I love that. So I think that like I want to play over here, but I also want to be conscious that this is possible, and I'd rather disrupt this than take the territory in the corner. I mean, over here, and then they'll play this one. Yeah, I guess that's possible as well. I guess what the AI would say is don't panic. You know, the game continues basically, but it's probably a bit good for white. Okay, that's interesting. Um, this might be interesting here if I let them live in the corner. Because if I play over here, I mean, I guess there's not a lot of points on the bottom, so I don't mind. And then what would I rather do? Normally you would play over here, but what do we really want out of this? I think what we want is to not lose too much access to the center somehow. We also don't want to get too weak with this group, I guess. So like you can imagine here, and then you can play it down this way, but it's okay. I think the major thing is just we want to reduce this area. So I'll play over here. Which is really crazy for me. Like this is a very unusual move for me. Normally I would respond by just playing the normal shape move at C2. But what I'm trying to do is keep an eye on what's important. So with this I'm going to live, which is wonderful. Yay, I lived. My invasion worked. Very happy about that. I do the people hand raise. So here, I don't think this is crazy because I can stay connected here, and I think the main point is just that we want to keep this strong, and we want to be careful about the center here. If I play over here, then there's this extension, then maybe they might do something. And if I push a couple times, I mean, I guess I'll make something in the center inevitably. I can play this push. Makes me a bit stronger, I guess. And if I play over here, then they're just going to seal me off. So I guess I need to not try too hard. The point is that they're just going to press me down. And so how can we do anything about this? Well, the point is, do we need to do anything? Like, let's keep in mind, how many points do we need to win? We need... So this is like... Oh, man. So here we have 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 21, 27, 27, 30, 35, 41-ish points. And over here, this actually might not be as big as you think because that can be reduced. I think that's the main thing. And there are points other places. So here I have at least, 10 in the corner here. And maybe another 10-ish, maybe more like 8 over here. And over here, that's also another 10. Oh, and over here, that's another 10 or maybe like 15 points. So that's like what, 35-ish, 40-ish. So it's actually quite even, I think. So we have to not panic. Not panic. This is interesting here. Because maybe they'll like give everything up. That would be fun. And if not, then I might be able to reduce them. And here this group is not stable. So let's stabilize it and let's go for this cut, I suppose. We have 94 moves out of, like, my usual rules are using all of the main time and having at least 140 moves. That means we have another 50 to go. Or 45, rather. This move, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You can just press me down, it makes sense. There's, I can't deny. But what I might be able to deny is that I might be able to walk into the center here. Because actually the stone might not be that important. Hmm. Or if I don't, then they'll connect and I can play this one and here, and then I can connect to underneath and I can make a lot of points here. And I can keep the points in the corner even better. So yeah, it's good enough to respond, I think. Or I'm completely wrong, but this is what I believe. Really? I guess maybe, yeah. Okay. And here? I mean, I reduced them a little bit, and then I can get Sente, which is nice. This is a bit strange. Okay, so you're leaving this cut here now. If I play over here, well, I'll just play this one because now I'm stabilized, so I don't really mind. So how are you going to deal with this? They might just give it up, but it's a lot of territory to give up. And I have to remember that I can still play on the bottom here and make some nice points. And over here in the corner, so I shouldn't forget that as on end game. Are there any other interesting moves we can play? Here. Just living? So I guess if I play over here, they might try and connect out this way. So I guess it makes sense to try and keep them kind of disconnected. I think they might play here and try and like live underneath. I don't mind them living so much. I think the point is that if they try and live, then I can reduce the center. And if I play over here, then this one here, this one. Hmm. Not quite sure. I need to just be careful. Okay, let's see where this goes. It might not be the right way, but it's difficult to choose the direction here. I guess if they wedge here, is it so easy? I mean, no, it's not so easy to disconnect this. Staying connected is good, I suppose. And then they need to figure out, I mean, will they be able to live down here? Maybe. There's a lot of space here as well. So yeah, let's see what happens. All right. Maybe, yeah, okay. Because if I play over here, yeah, it's too thin, so I need to connect solidly. Hmm. Yeah. If I play this Hane over here, because for instance I can play this one. No, okay. As much as I want to play here now, they're going to be able to live underneath. And is it enough to... But if I respond, I guess I can respond here. Because actually this not super easy. I get this K18 move, which removes an I. I don't think I'm in any trouble. Especially if I play over here. And then I get this move as well, which is nice. I mean, I got it anyway, but... Let's play over here. So, like, there's actually not as much eye space here as you might think. And yeah, okay, that makes sense. So if I play over here and over here, I can connect back. Here. If I play it from the outside over here, then I think the point is that it's not really Sente. I'm a little bit interested to see how they handle this. Because what I might be able to do is like wedge in here, but maybe not. They'll just capture it. But then, and then the thing is that it's double Atari, so I can't wedge. So in here, 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 here. And that's a little bit better than if I had just responded locally. What I'm looking for is to keep them unsettled if I can. Because if I can keep them unsettled, then that means that they run into the center, and that would be wonderful, because that means I can really mess with their center. I don't really want them to live, but I don't need to kill them either. But if I can unsettle them, that would be wonderful. And what about this clamp? Because I can't really descend, so I need to connect. Then they'll make the tiger's mouth. So yeah, this is interesting. Here. They might live, unfortunately. Which sucks. But oh well. So maybe they play over here. Then I can capture. They play over here, and then I play Atari. So I do get these stones, but it's not worth that much. And if I play this one, then they connect. I come underneath here. Atari, Atari, and there should be two eyes in there. But they'll probably have to take Gote to play that, and so I get Sente elsewhere, which means I get to play the big endgame moves. Like, I get this in Sente, and I get these moves over here in the center in Sente. And then we have to go back to counting. So I guess it's good that I wasn't counting that many points here for white, but then black gets some points as well. It's a hard game, but I guess it was always going to be. Just because they play the Moyo doesn't mean that they lose. And just because I live inside doesn't mean that they lose. So I guess, play more Moyo games. Why not? If you know how to play them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because here, this is not a 2-2-2 shape anymore. But I guess here, I don't really need to respond. What if I play here? Hmm. I guess we should stop messing with it. And then, like, if I play this Hane here, they connect, and maybe I can play this one. But I don't think so, because then they can make another one here, and they get two eyes. Right? Like, what I'm thinking is, like, here, and then maybe... Hmm? Yeah. Fine. But if they play again here, I can remove the base. So how are they going to do this? Mm-hmm. So if I play this Hane, they connect, and then this isn't removing two eyes. And here, and I descend, and the same thing. Here, 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 here. So yeah, it's alive, basically. So what's endgame? This is endgame? And what else? Moves in the center. Connecting here. I guess this kind of a turn here seems pretty big, actually. Because if I play this kind of connect, and then if they try and make another eye here, then I can actually play the Hane to live, to kill. Then they'll have to run to the center, and actually it seems that's not so easy. I want to take this cut, because it isolates these stones here. And if they Atari over here, then there's this Atari. This can get annoying, but it's here, here. It is pretty annoying, actually. I shouldn't do it. I should have like double read it, but I think it works. I mean, what happens if they like Atari this way? I mean, Atari here and then this way. But this is so annoying. This is one of those times where it's like, okay, well, you should have played the shape that you should have played. But I don't know. What else can we do? Hmm. Oh, they're really thinking a lot. I mean, me too, but wow, they ignore it. They should respond, shouldn't they? But I don't want to allow another move here because this will get too big, won't it? And if can I Hana on the inside? But probably not. What are they gonna do? Play some moves that make it thicker to handle? That might be what they're trying. What are they gonna do? I want to continue here because I think this is kind of important. If I play over here, then there's still a lot of weaknesses. I can come down here, and I can get a forcing move here, and then maybe like jump and help to reduce a little bit. Because if they don't, I can cut down here, so that's really annoying. See, this is what I mean. This is the aggressive style of play where here you don't defend, and here you just focus on the weakness. And here's to hoping that I'm not like getting carried away because it needs to be good enough to be actually a sound attack. But okay, so they defend somehow, yeah, like this. And then I can play this cut and get a forcing move and play over here like this somehow. Or over here. Like the thing is I can't kill. I can't kill. So like here I shouldn't expect it because they'll just cut me off. And here, because the issue is that they'll have this clamp here. So if I play here, then they'll clamp me and they'll get cut off again. So I guess I can only play as far as here, perhaps. Was that any good? Did I just waste moves? I don't know. Probably, as always. So, like, getting another move here, like, if they get this clamp, that'll be really nice. I don't know if I got anything from that. Maybe I helped them make territory, which is not good. Mm. And maybe if I cut here. But these stones here are lost, so I shouldn't. I can play a move like this. I've made some nice territory over here, perhaps. So I have to respond, and now I can get another move. And but they'll get some moves down here, which isn't nice, but I guess I can play over here. What's Sente? Sente, Sente, Sente. Over here. And which is bigger, I don't know. Here, I guess. Now we're both running out of time. So it's been a good game. And we've hit 144 moves, so this is a high quality game. That's great. We have done well here today. I guess this is kind of Sente, yeah. But I make some nice points down here. Like that's the thing. If I played this move, would I have, would this cut have been more severe perhaps? Let's play here. And this is Sente. Double Sente even, so it's really big. And then what? What else? Somehow like down here. And then I want to play over here, but like, is this move bigger? I don't think it is. But it feels really bad if they play it. But if they get this turn, how big is that? Like, it's the follow-up, I suppose. So I'm going to play over here. I don't know if it's the best one, but it's what I'm going to try. And here, I shouldn't forget this move, actually. Actually, it would really suck if they got that now. Because they could play here, and then get all this in Sente. That's pretty nice. Whereas if I turned here, then I think that's Sente against this group. So, okay, but then there's S18. But if they can get that in Sente, they can get S18 as well. This is not big enough, in my opinion. Here. Like, that's pretty nice. And then they have to respond, and now I get S18, which is really good. Then I can play, like, this Atari, and then maybe I can... Or, like, just connect to these stones here. Here... Is that right? Play here, 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 here. Yeah, this is always an I. So here, yeah. And then over here. And I guess it might as well, because otherwise this is... Oh, no, it's not. If they play this Hane, then when they connect, I can play this one. So yeah, that's good. What else? Over here. And then also this move here, this to not make sure that black gets more less territory. So they've burned one of their overtimes. I don't know. Did they make a lot of points? Am I behind? Maybe. I don't know. I could count, but we're running low on time anyway. I guess that's a good move, yeah. Well, where do I want to play next? Oh, over here. Actually, yeah, this is really quite big, so I should definitely get that if I can. Mm-hmm. Let's go get it. Because, yeah, no, come on. I mean, there's nothing else to do. Just empty triangle. Like, come on. But of course, that kind of thinking is why I have been a 1Q for years, you know? Here, and there's no throw-in shenanigans. My relentless guaning makes itself known. That's a really great turn of phrase. Relentless guaning. I like that. It's funny. Okay, we've got some good endgame here. Nice. Ah, but is it did I lose Sente? I might have lost Sente. I really want to play B9 now. Yeah, okay, okay. If they keep extending this way, then they'll connect that way. But here and then here, here connect, connect, and then this way. But it's self, no, it's not self Atari. That's interesting. I mean, they just here. Yeah. Oh, and I can play over here. That's nice. They didn't follow up on this. What else is good? What else is good? Come on. What are we playing? Over here? Is that big? Because this is alive. I guess we can play like a move like this. And then try and make the territory. Here. I don't know. I think I have to respond because otherwise I lose these points. But I really want to play DE2. And then I can play this Atari, and then this way, and then this way, so I can really reduce over here. And is there like a shortage of liberties situation over here eventually? Because otherwise Atari, Atari, and then like descending. That could be too slow, I'm not quite sure. That's the other thing, is that when it comes to endgame, like one thing that I'm doing, as you know, I make problems from the games I lose. And what's fun is that, of course, like I have a problem set where I look at endgame moves, and it seems that endgame is really just all about not taking Gote. Of course, now it's very sure that I've been too slow. But look, let's just get this move here because I don't want to leave this open. And then here, this move looks big. Because here, they're just going to connect over here. And then I can capture this, but it's not that big, I guess. I guess this moves in Sente. If I get this move here, yeah, I don't think it's really much. Yeah, and then I can capture this. Hmm. This is Sente. Or else I die, so let's not die. We don't want that. So they should really respond here now. And maybe I can play this move in Sente, so I can play this one and play over here, but I don't think that threatens much. They made so many points in the center, you know? Here. And now I can capture this. So okay, fine. You know, okay, fine, I'll take what I can get. They made so many points. How disappointing. So snapback. Okay. Yeah. Is this bigger? I don't know. I don't really think so. Because if they connect, then I can still... They don't really make that many points. And if I play over here, they have this move. I'll play, but I imagine this Sente could be bigger. Hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. They're like, oh, is there a cut? And no, there's no cut. Yeah, this is big. I can get this move. This is Sente, so there's that. Yeah, they'll get some weird things over here. Yep. We play this move. It's Sente, which is nice. And what next? It's not very clear. They almost certainly win. Almost certainly. I didn't make any points this game. You know, maybe I had some opportunities to attack, but I think I missed them. Yeah. I don't know. And then, oh, wasn't there something that I missed? I could play here, couldn't I? And then, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's the end of the game. Oh, I guess there's this end game over here. Yeah, okay. I guess it's like what, 6, um, 8, 10 here. I don't know. What do you want? We're gonna play over the next half move, even though they probably win anyway. There's a co-threat here and over here. What else is there? Maybe capturing here is a co-threat. What else? Some moves down here, co-threat perhaps. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What do I have as co-threat? Actually, not much. Oh, I actually have quite a few captures. I didn't realize. Hmm. Okay, fine. And then they probably have another co-threat somewhere. They have at least B19, yeah. And then, I don't know, what do I do? I don't really see much of a co-threat. And it probably doesn't matter. So okay, connect and let's end the game. Yeah, they win by 15 points. It makes sense. All right, so I guess I'll review the game and I'll see you all in a moment. All right, so I had a look through the game. Let's just take a look at it fast. So up to here, this is obviously, well, not obviously, but it's ridiculously good for white. But let's see, up to here. So here, this kind of like attach and digging in is somehow not the right idea because black is too strong. I guess what I should be asking myself is where are the weaknesses? And black is pretty strong over here, and black is pretty strong over here. So actually, there's not, this is kind of moving in the wrong direction. It's not where black's weaknesses are. So by going this way, I lose a bunch of points because, I make all these exchanges and I basically have to give all these stones up. And having lost all of these here, that's really quite painful. So what the AI says to do instead is not to dig in, but to instead play lightly over here. And it's okay if black tries to capture, we can give this up and then we can make shape or something, that kind of thing. So this isn't an AI sequence, it's just something off the top of my head. But the idea is to play lightly. So this was not playing lightly, and yeah, I lose a bunch of points because of that. So what was the other thing? Yeah, there are all sorts of ways that you can play here. It doesn't really matter. The point is just to focus on where the weaknesses are and move in those directions. And I wasn't doing that, and so things didn't really go that well. So up to here, I am actually in pretty big trouble. So what happens? So basically, after this, black is able to live, white is able to live, which is pretty good. So there's that. But I was thinking still not so great, but anyway, the point is I'm able to live and the game continues, and then I things continue okay because I can generally play the opening better. So we're due up to here, it's okay. And actually there was an opportunity to kill here, so the issue is that I shouldn't play this. I should play here now. And that's really crazy to me because it's like, okay, well, what about this? And it's like, well, okay, what about that? This is going to be alive over here, no big deal. And so then if I play something like this, the point is that there's no cuts. So these stones on the inside are dead. White gets... So there is something a bit that I should have felt that's a bit wrong with this, because basically if you're behind enemy lines like this, generally I find that if you're behind enemy lines and you decide, oh yeah, I'm going to delve deeper, that's usually the wrong idea. You usually want to try and move out. So I really should have thought, okay, I should be more aggressive here. And when I saw this move, this is the reason why I'm a passive player, is that I couldn't help myself but to play here. But I have to really say, okay, but what if I don't? What if I don't? And I'm okay. And, even if black plays here, like, okay, maybe I have this group on the outside, this one here. So, but then at the same time, okay, well, what now? Like I'm just stronger. Maybe get something like this or like here, and then that's just dead. So, I mean, I guess you can try and do this here, right? Yeah, I think so. So if I play here, maybe I need to respond, and maybe there's something like this, but no, and also not like... So I have to be a little bit careful, but it can be done. So I was playing too passively over here. So let me think. So okay, I played pretty well. There was another thing that I forgot to mention, which is that here, this is actually, I was thinking about playing here, but I feel like a complete idiot, like a noob, because I can play here. And of course I don't remember the life and death to this, but this is a typical shape. So, okay, so the reason why this is a great move is because if black tries to like block this off, like for instance, if we play over here, then this is immediately like not right. So we need to move like this. There's also like no, so maybe more like here, but also not. And if they Atari, then over here. So okay, but finally we get to this move. So we have here, this doesn't work because this one. And if here, then we can just play here. So this is really quite tricky to deal with. And the key is that on these stones here, the liberties on the outside are filled. So normally there should be a couple of liberties here, and then if that's true, that becomes like a ko in another Joseki that I learned a long time ago. So I should really know this, but I just forget after all this time. I guess that's why I'm still 1Q. I just don't remember things. So yeah, so that's a really fun Tsuji. I didn't realize that was there, so that's fun. But okay, I didn't do that. And so white lives, and then I played pretty well in endgame actually. I was actually wondering about like here, and then maybe like what I'm thinking is that if black comes back here, then here. And I was like, okay, well, but the issue is that black can come here. And if white tries to cut off, then black can just play here and live, and then the stones on the inside here are dead. So here. So okay. I mean, I guess like the question is like, how do we know this is really alive? That's really important. But here, and can we play like here? But not, you know? Hmm. I guess like, how do we know? How do we know? I guess the issue has to do with liberties, I suppose. So if I play this way and here, then black should not do that and maybe just go for the liberties on the outside here. I mean, obviously that's not going to work, so don't do that. But at least like, what can we do? What can we do? I mean, at least here, and then on here, and then we have like what this group has an eye on the inside, and then this is like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight liberties, and hopefully black has more. Of course, I should learn about liberty races, but yeah, that's the idea. So this doesn't actually work as well as I thought that it might. So at this point, the game is already lost. I play pretty well in endgame. I can get it within 5 points, so the game is pretty close, but it's not enough. So here, this was just a massive overplay here. I should have been able to punish this, and I didn't, and so I lost. And over here, the invasion here didn't go well. I went in the wrong direction. I went towards their thickness, when instead I should think instead about just playing lightly, just playing here, or just like anything else, just not digging in. I guess like the same concept. I did the same thing as white. Like if you're, I guess the difference that here, even if I play lightly, I'm still surrounded. But yeah, this is the issue. You'd rather be in the center, and this is kind of what I realized during the invasion is that if I dig in, then I'm not where I want to be. Even if I live and there wasn't quite enough space, like I guess it's the other thing is like if you go one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like there isn't even enough space here to live, and there isn't enough weakness to kill something. So yeah, okay, this is definitely the wrong direction. So I had no other choice. I had to play more lightly. But yeah, that's basically the game. Yeah, I guess you learn there. It's fair enough. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy these games. I'm going to try and get back to uploading the Battle Command site. I promise. It's just life is really hectic at the moment, so I'm just lucky to be able to sit and record a game like this and have some time to review and upload it at some point. But yeah, yeah, I hope I can make more informative and interesting games videos soon. Like, comment, subscribe. What you like, what you don't like. What you thought about the game, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you all very, very soon.